Vinyl community, Vinyl Vagrants here. We're excited to be joining the vinyl community. Big fans. I watch a lot of vinyl community videos in my spare time, and I find myself adding new subscriptions each week. It's really cool to see what some of you guys find out there. So today, what we're doing is we're showing you what we found at local record shows, basically since Thanksgiving, month of December, the Christmas season. I actually thought
treating ourselves.
Exactly. Of course, our intentions are always to look for others, but when you find a good buy, you can't pass it up. Actually, though, what I'm going to start with are some record store day finds on Black Friday. I hit the local record shop, and when I saw the releases list, it wasn't that exciting to me. I didn't see any must-haves or anything I need to line up for. So I went in a couple hours after the store opened up, and I did walk away with a couple of records that I wanted to get. I actually bought 3 that day. One of them, probably the favorite one I got that day, was this Joan Jett album, based on the documentary Bad Reputation. I haven't gotten a chance to watch that documentary yet, but this is a greatest hits record for Joan Jett. I appreciate her. I'm a fan. I don't think I want to buy her whole catalog. This has got, it starts out with Fresh Start, Bad Reputation, Cherry Bomb, Love is Pain, I Love Rock and Roll, Victim of Circumstance, I Hate Myself for Loving You. That's just side A. And then side B, Crimson and Clover, Rebel Girl, I Want to Be Your Dog, Fetish, Feminazi, and Androgynous is what it closes with. But I also believe it's purple vinyl, which is, you can't go wrong with purple vinyl. So this was a great, I was wrong. Sorry. Yellow vinyl. It's very cool. Nice find.
Can't beat that side A.
No.
Side A is
great collection.
Killer
collection.
Start.
And I love Crimson and Clover to open up the second side too.
Very cool. Yeah,
All
so
right.
for me, I'm a huge Jeff Beck fan. The new documentary just came out, I think just this past year. So just picked up the Truth album. Everybody knows Jeff Beck started with the Tridents, then moved on to the Yardbirds, and then he went into his career with Rod Stewart and Ronnie Wood for the first 2 albums, Beckola and then Truth. And then he went on to a illustrious solo career. But this record right here really is just, it's blues, it's hard rock. Not necessarily the birth of heavy metal, but definitely has some really cool tunes. We just checked it out just a little while ago. Shapes of Things, Let Me Love You, just a bunch of great tunes on this record. So if you get a chance, I highly recommend it.
It's hard to find. Those are hard to find. The 60s Beck albums are hard to find, especially in good condition. I wish that we could find some reissues. I don't even know if they're out there, but I haven't seen any. It'd be nice.
Yeah, the vinyl's in great shape, but the cover is a little bit beat up. But, when you're pulling something from the late 60s, it's going to happen.
Yeah. All right. My second record store day purchase was the Stone Temple Pilots live album. Huge fans of Stone Temple Pilots. And yes, Scott Weiland, obviously not on this recording. And I'll have to give it another shot. My initial reaction, this was a little disappointing to me. I'm not sure Stone Temple Pilots made the right decision going with a sound-alike as their next vocalist, but I totally understand the decision. And just listening to this for the first time, the album sounded a little slow to me, but I'm going to give it another shot. Cool 3D cover, comes with a pair of 3D glasses on the inside, the old-fashioned red, white, and blue 3D glasses that make the cover pop. But that was
my backside.
That was my second record store day purchase.
For me, next up, it's kind of I'm a bit obvious in this episode here. Zeppelin 4, the 1971 classic. Really spun off. Jeff Beck was a huge influence on Jimmy Page. Everybody knows about Led Zeppelin. Everybody knows that this 1971 record is probably the definitive statement for them. Maybe Physical Graffiti. But it was there as original pressing. Great quality. Again, another record we just listened to just a few moments ago on your stereo. And it sounded crisp as ever. So, pretty cool stuff.
All right, as I go to the record show finds, I found a nice copy of Talking Heads. All right, Speaking in Tongues, and the interesting thing about the Talking Heads with me is, back when I was younger, you'd never catch me listening to Talking Heads. This is a product of maturity. My growing in my musical tastes. I'm starting to appreciate how great. I purchased David Byrne's solo album this year, and I loved it. And I was like, you know what? I need to go back and get caught up on what I missed earlier. And this was great condition, and I was excited to find it.
Yeah, a couple of classics on it too, right? Burn Down the House.
Oh yeah.
Swamp. That's indelible classics on that record.
Yeah, great record.
And last one for me, I'm a huge shred guitar fan. Jeff Beck, Yngwie Malmsteen, Joe Satriani, Steve Stevens, John Five, the lot. Anyways, this is Yngwie Malmsteen's second record, Marching Out. This one featured Jeff Scott Soto on vocals. Yngwie had a tendency to have a lot of different lead singers throughout his career. I think he's probably had more than a half a dozen easily. This record only has 2 instrumentals, unlike his first album was largely instrumental. And it was a cool find for me. I'm a huge fan of the Trilogy album, which is his third record, with Mark Bowles on the vocals. But this is a really cool record. I'll See the Light Tonight being the lead song and probably one of the best tracks that he has in his catalog. So this was a cool find for me.
All right. I was really excited to find this one. One of my favorite Rolling Stones songs, which might make Stones fans cringe because I understand that this was maybe their attempt to fit into the disco era with Miss You, but I never saw it as a disco song. I just thought it as a good rock and roll song, and this happens to be the special disco version, extended cut single, long play release, and I was really excited to find this, and I played it many times so far, and it never gets old. Yeah. Favorite tune of mine.
And we're big Foo Fighter fans, and the Foos recently played that in concert with Taylor Hawkins on lead vocals, so that was kind of a cool little thing, kind of a bit of a resurgence of that tune for me as well.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite songs of the Foo Fighter show when they covered that. Also, this next find, very excited to find this. All right, here is Poison's Flesh and Blood. All right, and look, I don't know where you stand on some of the late '80s music. We're huge fans. We appreciate it. I will say this: it's hard to find late '80s rock on vinyl because let's face it, that's when CDs exploded and they just stopped printing vinyl. So to actually find this record in great condition, you've got the record sleeve with all the write-ups and the photos of the band. And in my opinion, this is, if you're going to have one Poison album, this would be the one to get. I think
that's
this
a definitive one for
yeah,
me.
I mean, I love their other 2 records also, but I was really excited to find this, probably again because of how hard it is to find 80s metal on vinyl.
Right. And one last thing just to add on, you mentioned just a minute ago, when we were growing up, cassettes and CDs.
Yes.
Those were the 2 modes of, sonic listening, if you will, for us. Like vinyl was, for our parents, right? When Jeff Beck came out, I wasn't even born. And Led Zeppelin, I was born that year. So,
yeah.
When you think about, for us, these are the cool things, and this is what makes the vinyl community such an interesting place for Chuck and myself. And that's why we love sharing with you, and we love seeing what you have as well.
All right, and then for my final showing for the month of December, I just found this past weekend. Very excited to find this record. Okay, of course, a copy of Kiss's original album. This is an early pressing before Kissing Time. All right, there's no Kissing Time on the vinyl. There's no Kissing Time on the label. And what made me so excited to find this is what beautiful condition it's in. All right, there's no ring. There's no record ring on the cover. It was very well taken care of, and the vinyl on the inside matches the cover on the outside. Um, it was a great find. It was a little pricey, I will admit, but you know, Kiss is what got us into vinyl. When we were kids, some of the first records we listened to were Kiss records, and that's what got us into music. And you know, while we were in the 80s was when we were old enough to purchase our music, and then we weren't buying vinyl then. But back when we were kids and we would get records for our birthday and things like that, it was Kiss on vinyl. So these have a special place in our heart. And of course, Vinyl Vagrants, we are taking our time reminiscing about the Kiss catalog as we really dive into this hobby, and Kiss is just the surface for us.
Yeah, it really is an exploration of the sonic beauty of vinyl itself and the things it brings, and you know, just seeing the covers and reading the liner notes and everything else. It's everything. We're enjoying the journey for sure, and this is a hell of a find.
Yeah, and so this was our month to end 2018. We got some real gems here, and we look for our next record show, which will probably be sometime in the spring. We'll get out. So until next time, we're Vinyl Vagrants, and you know, we're just happy to be part of the vinyl community.
Thank you.